Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am finally here with my first video of 2022, and that is my January plan with me video. And I know that this is a little bit late, but I actually managed to get my January set up more or less on time, which is something that I'm hoping to improve on in the new year. Hopefully I'm able to get my plan with me videos up before the month actually starts, but hopefully I'll be able to get into that habit for the rest of the month. So anyway, to start off, I'm just lighting up my candle and just preparing a glass of water just to get into the zone of planning and setting up my bullet journal. I just really enjoy having a nice candle burning on the side, just my cup of water and a show on the side as well to watch. So I just really enjoy going into the zone. Honestly, sometimes time just flies by and sometimes I totally lose track of time, but I just really enjoy this entire process. So like I said in previous videos, I'm trying to do more painting for my bullet journal. So for January, I'm going to do a small painting for my cover page as well. So my theme for January is going to be sunflowers theme, because I wanted to come up with something bright and cheerful for January because it heralds the start of a new year, and I kind of wanted to do something about a sun or something about a brand new day. And then I thought about sunflowers because I feel like sunflowers always depict a sunny, happy new day, so I wanted to portray that into my January's theme as well. So I decided to do sunflowers, and I know that this is a theme that is widely used, and I have seen so many variations on it on Pinterest, Instagram, and also YouTube. So I'm really trying to do my own take of sunflowers as well, and just trying to put my own artistic twist to it, if that makes sense. So for the background, I wanted it to be a really vibrant kind of blue, so I think I used equal parts of white and blue just to make sure that the color is as light as possible, especially so because when lighter colors of gouache dries, it becomes darker. So I made sure that it was even lighter than I wanted it to be when it's wet, so that when it dried, it looked exactly like how I wanted it to be. And so after that, I'm just painting in my sunflowers, and because it is against a gouache backdrop, I kind of didn't want to sketch too much because I didn't want to erase too much against the gouache background as well. I'm just honestly freehanding it, and I think my first sunflower turned out a little bit too big, but yeah, I just decided to go with it. And I think painting sunflowers aren't actually super easy, but it's all about just trusting the process. I think for my sunflower petals, I used at least 3 different shades of yellow and brown just to give a little bit more definition and details to the sunflowers as well. And also for the middle part of the sunflower, I tried to use as many different shades of brown as possible just to show the idea of highlights and areas of shadow as well, just to make it look as realistic as possible. But definitely I'm not going for 100% realism here. I think I really like my paintings to have that little bit of fantasy as well. For my painting, I also decided to add some clouds as well in between the stalks of the sunflowers, because I just thought that that would be a nice touch to my sunflowers. So I'm just really not doing much detail to my clouds here, so I just painted it mostly with white gouache, and then I just went over with the same blue color as well. And afterwards, because I love sparkles, I'm just using my watercolor paint for this one because I have the gold watercolor paint. So I just used those to paint in little sparkles throughout the entire painting, and I think it turned out super cute. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. Also, because my painting kind of was completely filled out, I didn't want to write January on the right hand side, and so I decided to move it on to the left hand side. And if you guys saw all my setups for the previous year, you guys would know that my cover page is usually only just on one side of the page. So this time around I'm trying to do something different, which is actually what I did for last year as well. For January, I wrote January on the left hand side of the page as well, so I guess I'm kind of following the January tradition. I'm using this kind of Times New Roman font for the entire month of January as well. And afterwards, I'm moving on to my calendar page, and this time around I am trying to do something different as well, because it's the new year. It's time to try different styles and different layouts as well. So for my calendar page, I decided to offset my entire calendar spread to the left hand side, and then I'm doing a mini Dutch door as well on the right hand side. So you guys will see how it turns out later, but it's more of just an artistic kind of Dutch door spread. And also comment down below what themes you like to see in the following months of 2022 as well, because sometimes I do find myself running low on inspiration, so it would be really good if you guys could give some suggestions down below as well. And also, if you guys haven't seen my setup for 2022 yet, do check it out down below. I was really satisfied with how my setup turned out, and so yeah, do go check it out. And after all is done, I am just lettering in January at the top, mainly because I thought that it was just a little bit empty. And then for the next page, it's my mood and my habit tracker. So on the right hand side, I'm painting in the same turquoise blue because I love that shade so much that I had to include it with my other spreads as well. So I'm painting that in first, and while I'm waiting for it to dry, I'm just drawing out the sunflowers on the left hand side. The sunflowers on the left hand side are going to be my mood tracker, so I will just color in the petals in accordance with how I'm feeling that day. And I realized I didn't color in the legend, but basically I'm doing a shade, so it's not going to be an exact color, but it's just going to be different shades of my mood, if that makes sense, just so that it allows for more flexibility in terms of depicting my mood, because sometimes, you know, we don't feel totally happy or totally sad, and I think sometimes it's just a mixture of both. For the top part, I'm just portioning out different mini calendars for my different habits. One of the habits are new, which is reading. I'm really trying to increase the frequency with which I read this year, because I used to read a lot when I was younger, but as I got older I kind of gave up on reading because there were just too many other things to do and I didn't really time and effort to read, and that's something that I really want to change this year. And I'm really hoping that I can get back to the habit of reading and just discovering new books as well. I think I haven't been able to find good books, so I'm really just trying to find back my love for reading and also just trying to discover new titles to read as well. So moving on to my next spread, it is my Align a Day spread. This time around, because it's a new year, I'm doing a different layout, and I've never done this layout before actually. I think I was kind of inspired from my calendar spread as well, the little Dutch door. I'm going to be drawing out sunflowers against a blue backdrop as well. I am completely using acrylographs, and because I got new acrylographs recently from the Black Friday sale, I have enough shades to just be able to give enough details to my sunflowers. So that's why I decided to do solely acrylographs, and I just love using acrylographs for my bullet journal setup. It is my new favorite thing because it just makes the whole spread look so finished. It just looks really good, and I think it's quite forgiving in terms of when I make mistakes. It's able to be covered up quite easily, and it's not super noticeable as well. So I love acrylographs. I think they are amazing. I'm just coloring in the sides, and I think the contrast between the yellow and the blue just makes the sunflowers pop even more. Afterwards, I'm moving on to my fave log as usual, and I think in January all my spreads and all my layouts have kind of changed. I wouldn't say that they have been super drastic changes, but I think in 2021 I was kind of sticking to the same layout for all the different months. So for January this year, I'm really trying to step out of my comfort zone and trying to make an intentional effort to think of different layouts. And I think sometimes I can fall into a rut where I choose to go with something that I'm already familiar with. And I think this year is all about stepping out of comfort zones, and I think it's all about just being really intentional with my creativity. So that is what I was trying to do for January, just because I felt like in the previous year all my spreads for the months started to look a little bit repetitive, in the sense that the layouts were just all super similar. So really trying to change that up. Once again, I am relying really heavily on Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube to gain some inspiration and come up with my own style as well. I think 2021 was all about just trying to figure out what works for me and what didn't, and I think 2022 is all about developing my own bullet journaling and art style. I'm really hoping to be able to expand more on this in 2022. Hopefully there will be a lot of growth in this year, and I'm just really looking forward to it. I think there's much to look forward to in 2022, and I'm just hoping that this year will just be an incredible year of growth. Moving on to my first weekly setup, I got this inspiration from Pinterest. So it's basically just sunflowers in the middle of the page, and one sunflower is meant to represent a day, and the day will be written on the sunflower itself. This time around, I'm using Crayola Super Tips, and this is the first month, I think, in which I've used so many different mediums of art. So after all is done, I decided to use a little bit of washi tape as well. I am a huge fan of washi tapes, and I just got a few more washi tapes on Black Friday once again, so I decided to just use a few of them at the bottom just to fill out the page as well. And with that, I'm done with my setup for January. I think all the spreads turned out super cute, and I'm really happy with how they all turned out. I hope that you guys liked it as well, and if you did, definitely don't forget to like and subscribe. It will mean so much to me, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!